We won't disclose your name because it turns out talking about fraud is very dangerous. You've seen a lot of the fraud happening specifically with Medicaid and what happened with Biden, what they were doing. In what ways was the Biden administration failing to combat fraud? Or what ways were they enabling it to happen?
I think you're exactly right when you're talking about enabling versus simply being incompetent with going after fraud. What we saw here when we came in during the turn of administrations is that the Biden administration had taken active steps over their 4 years in office to enable fraud to occur in the Medicaid program. Things as egregious as putting forth regulations and finalizing them that limited the ability of states to verify eligibility more than once a year. When we came into office, congressional Republicans in the administration worked to repeal that rule, saving over $100 billion over the next 10 years. The Biden administration undertook, and knowingly, in terms of what the consequences would be, major actions to limit states' abilities to cut back on waste, fraud, and abuse in the program. It is unconscionable, some of the policies that they were pursuing. And as soon as the Trump administration came in office, we saw a pattern of policies that were pursued across the child care programs, across the Medicaid program, that expanded opportunity for fraudsters to take advantage of the Medicaid program, taking money directly from vulnerable Americans who were supposed to be receiving these benefits and taking that money for themselves.
So what ways were they enabling the fraud?
So limiting the ability of states to verify eligibility, completely disregarding signals of fraud, such as significant increases in certain spending categories, and also encouraging states to undertake expansions of the Medicaid program into service categories that are traditionally things that you would not associate with the Medicaid program, or things that most Americans would not label as critical services for the most vulnerable Americans. And so when we're talking about Medicaid fraud, a lot of it is in services that most Americans probably wouldn't even expect that their taxpayer dollars are funding.
Medicaid, what are some of the fraud that some people would not even think about?
For instance, one thing we've seen in states such as New York are family members of beneficiaries being able to enroll as home health care aides and get paid for services that they're providing.
Do the taxpayers pay you to do that? Not necessarily.